Hi, I'm Helen Childerhouse and I'm the Programme Leader for the BA Honours in Education, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the programme that we have here at the University of Lincoln so that it can help you to make your decisions for the future. The BA in Education is a theoretical course, and we look at education through what we call the 4 pillars. So we study education through history, so we can see what has happened in the past and how we can learn from that to improve our current education system. We look at it from a psychological point of view, so the scientific neuroscience approaches, how the brain works, how people learn. We look at sociology of education because we know that we learn together, we learn in groups, and we want to work out how those coming togethers of people can help education to be as successful as possible. And then we also look at education from a philosophical point of view. So we ask the really big hard questions. What is the purpose of education? Why do we do it? What's the point and what do we hope to get out of it? The modules that we have for the 3-year course start off with core modules. There's modules that everybody studies in the first year, and they're all introductory. So we have Introduction to Learning, Introduction to Teaching, Introduction to Educational Research, and Introduction to Education. Once you've completed year 1, then you can start to make choices about some of the elective modules so that you can make your degree a little bit more bespoke to you so that it really draws on your interests. So we have core modules too in year 2. So we look at special educational needs, and we also continue to look at educational research. The reason why we think research is so important throughout the degree is that education never ever stays the same, it's constantly changing, and research is about keeping abreast of what's going on out there, looking at the new texts, the new policies, the new instructions from the Department for Education and from around the world, and really keeping ourselves fully informed of what's going on, so that by the time you come to the 3rd year and you start to choose one particular area to study in detail in your dissertation, you know that you've kept fully informed all the way through the 3 years and you're not trying to play catch up. The other elective modules that you can choose in year 2 are things like studies of childhood, and we ask those big hard questions like, how old do you have to be a child? Do all the countries in the world agree the particular ages for children? The types of play that children are involved in, the types of learning that they do, these all impact on our education systems. And so you've got the choice to be able to look much more in depth about the way children are perceived in media, in the films, in literature, and to find out how different people perceive children. You can also look into modules such as digital education. So we know our classrooms are becoming much more technologically focused and up to date, and we can learn the skills that we need and the understanding of how children learn within that pedagogical and digital focus. We also go back to those 4 pillars. So in year 2 and year 3, you can actually focus on the philosophy of education. You can look at the history, the sociology, and really get into depth with them. And then, like I said a few minutes ago, at the end you have your dissertation, which is a mini research project and a bit of an extended essay where you can talk about that particular branch of education that is particularly interesting to you. So that when you complete your degree, you can say, my BA Honours in Education is different to everybody else's because I've tailored it to fit my interests and my needs in the future. And what are your needs in the future? Well, we know about 60% of our students go on to do a postgraduate certificate in education. So they go on to do their formal teacher training programme. This is a 1-year programme that we offer at Lincoln so that you can get your qualified teacher status. But it's worth just reminding you that this is for primary education. Our BA Honours Education degree will prepare you to be primary teachers, not secondary teachers. And the reason for that is that the Department for Education asks you to study a curriculum subject to degree level if you want to become a secondary teacher. But there are lots of other students who don't want to become teachers. And what do? Well, they go all over the place. We've got students who are now beginning their travels after completing their degree, and we've got a student who's on her way to Korea. We've got students who are going further abroad to Australia and also to Europe to do teaching English to speakers of other languages. We've got a couple of students who are going to be working in museums or libraries or outdoor pursuit centres. If you imagine anywhere where schools can take children for school trips, they're going to want people who understand how children learn to be able to support them on those trips. So if you think of a type of place where you were to take school children, chances are there's going to be an education specialist in the background, and that could be you in the future. I look forward to meeting you if you decide to come and join us on an open day. I know my students are really desperate to come and say hello and talk about the course, and I wish you luck, I wish you well, and I hope to meet you soon. Thank you.